Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to discuss a scenario wherein we would like to update an existing record into a SQL Server from CSV. So for an example, let's take an example. I have this organization's CSV which has 100 records for the organization, which has the details like the name of the organization, website, country, description, in which year it is founded, the number of employees it has, and all those things, right? Now I would like to insert first of all this record, and then I want to make sure that if there are any further changes to the existing record going forward, then I want to make sure that how do we update the existing record rather than deleting it or making the changes or getting an error, for an example, right? Now to show the demonstration, I'm going to use the SQL Server. So I have this SQL Server which has the database DemoDB. I've connected to I have connected to the SQL Server database from my local machine. In this SQL Server database, I have the same organization table which has this exact same structure called table structure, which is there in the CSV table. Now I would like to apply the insert as well as update. So insert is the insert demo we have seen in the last demonstration, wherein we have bulk inserted the CSV record to this table. Here we are interested in making an update to our existing records. For an update, first of all, I need to insert it. So let me just define the pipeline. So I'll be using this ADF instance. So for that, I'm going to create a new pipeline. So let me just click on the new pipeline. That will open the canvas board to define the new pipeline. I'll use the move and transform copy data activity shape on the canvas board. That is where I have to define the source and the destination, which is sync. So source, as we know that we have the source as in Azure Blob Storage. So I'll be using the Azure Blob Storage source, which I've already created in the previous demonstration. So I'm going to choose that. Just to view the details of this source, we can click here on open button, and you can see that it is pointing to it is using this link service by pointing to the input container. That is where we have our files, and it's also pointing to a specific file which is organization-100 CSV, which has the 100 record for all the different type of organization. Now our source is ready. No changes required as such. It's just the configuration plug and play. Next we have to define the SQL Server dataset. So let me just define the SQL Server dataset again, just to show the demonstration. We could have used the same existing SQL Server links dataset which we have created in the last demonstration as well, but I'm just showing you how to create one more time. So let's select the Azure SQL database as in dataset. So give it a name as in SQL demo, right? That's the name of the dataset I have given. Now I'm using the link service. So this is a link service which we have created in the previous demonstration, that is basically going to connect to my SQL Server. Just to show you, I click on edit, and it's showing that it is going to connect to this SQL Server instance, this database, using this username, and I can still test the connection. Hopefully it will work. And if it is not, let's say if you are getting this kind of error while trying to connect to the SQL Server instance, like I am getting it, which shows that your ADF instance is trying to connect to the SQL Server with this IP address, but it's not able to connect to the SQL Server instance. That may be possible because it is happening due to the firewall and network configuration in SQL Server. So let's go to the SQL Server, and inside the networking configuration, if you have this kind of a setting, which means that connect to the SQL Server from the selected network, and then one thing you can do is you can specify your IP address, but specifying the IP address which you are getting it in this error, which is this IP address, is not going to help you, because it may be helpful on testing the connection. For an example, if I try and add it, let's add this rule just to show you what will be the wrong thing it will happen. So I'll give it ADF, and then I'll copy this IP address. Okay, so manually inserting these. Let's save this. as it is saved now, if I'm going to reconnect or retest the connection, hopefully it will test the connection. As you can see that it has tested the connection, so I have not make any modification to the link service as such. It's just that connection I'm testing it. As I've added this IP address, this has resolved the connection testing, but this may not resolve the problem entirely. I'll show you why, and I'll show you a permanent solution to fix that as well. Now let's select the table. So it's failing to load the table. Let me just refresh again. So it's refreshed again as we have added the IP address. So this is the table we are targeting to select. Now if with that we can see that our pipeline is successfully ready right now, right? Our pipeline is ready with the sync type, right? Behavior is insert, right? And then bulk insert table type is no, table option is no, auto create, do you want to create auto create the table? No. And the other option, right? Now with this configuration, if I run the pipeline, then what will happen is it will insert the record for the very first time, because my table is empty right now. As you can see, when I run the query, it has returned nothing. So if I'm going to run the pipeline, it will possibly run it. Let me just first of all validate the pipeline. The pipeline validation is completed successfully. Let's debug it, which means, right, it will run the pipeline on a debug mode. So that will possibly try and connect to the SQL Server and insert the record using the insert mode. So the connectivity to the database is failed, because now to connect to the database, it's using some different IP address. Even though if I will add this IP address again, it will fail, because from the ADF point of view, it will use the random IP address, and these are the public IP address which the ADF instance will randomly use. So what is the solution to fix this problem? The solution here is there are two solutions. First is you check this particular checkbox which says that allow Azure services and resource to access this server, which means that if the communication is coming from any Azure resource like ADF instance, then it will allow that resource to communicate to this SQL Server. And if I use this option, for now it will resolve the problem. But there is another option is which you can set a private endpoint on ADF and then allow the subnet in which the private endpoint is configured to communicate with the SQL Server. That we will do it in the later demonstration, but for now I'm going to mark this option, which is allow Azure services and resources to access the server. Let's save this, and then afterwards we will run our pipeline again. So the pipeline is succeeded successfully, and it says that it has copied 100 record and inserted or written 100 record. Now if I go back to our SQL Server ADF.NET connection, let's run our select star from query, and we can see that our pipelines are our 100 records are successfully inserted here, right? Now if I run the pipeline again, what will happen? Because as we are using the insert mode, if I run it again, the pipeline, what will happen? All the records pipeline will try to insert it, and as it is matching the same primary key values, which is an index column value, so it will give an error saying that you are trying to insert a index or the primary key which is already available in the table row, hence it is not inserted. So let me show you the exact error. So you can see that the failure happened on the sync. Let me just expand this, and it says that primary key violation, because you are trying to insert a duplicate key on this particular table, so values are duplicated, hence the records are failed. Now here in this case, your pipeline needs to know that if there is a record which is already available, then you do not want to insert the same record again. You want to update that record, right? And that is what you want to do. So let me just first of all click on this ADF.NET, click on this copy data activity. I'll go to the sync. So instead of on the right behavior, instead of selecting the insert, we will use the upsert behavior, right? And that is what will help us inserting a record if the record is not present, and updating a record if the record is available. Now with that we have to specify, with that if I try and validate the pipeline, it will fail, because when you use the upsert you have to specify which is the index column on which your table row should be uniquely identified. So you have to specify the key columns. You can specify one or more columns. So as we know that index ID is the uniquely inserted record, uniquely available ID for each of the row. Hence I've selected this record. Now if I validate again, the pipeline is validated. Again, if I will try and run this using the debug option, let's see what happens. So changes are done successfully. It has updated all the 100 records. It says that it has read 100 record, it has returned 100 records. But in fact, if I go back to the SQL Server, you will see that all those 100 records are as it is. There are no changes happened, and we have not received any error as such. So if now if you run multiple times the same pipeline and again, you will not get an error. So that is why you are expected to use upsert, specifically if you have if your requirement says that the same record can be appeared at the time of moving the record from CSV, from source to the destination SQL Server, right? Now let's do another test, or a round of tests, where we are going to modify this CSV data. So here I'm going to say that in this case I'll update the record with my name Rakesh Suryavanshi, and then another record I'll create it with OCS, which is our cloud school. And let me just save this. So we have saved or make some update to this CSV file with 2 records. Now if we are going to run the pipeline again with debug mode, let's see what happens. I'm expecting those 2 records to be updated, and rest of the records should be remain as is. So the pipeline is completed successfully. Let's go back to the Azure Data Studio, and if I run again the pipeline, let's see what happens. You can see that row number 3 is updated, row number 4 is also updated. So we have got an update on these 2 records because we have updated the CSV, and that is how the upsert works, right? I'll give you one more example. Let's say that we have in total 100 record, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another record. Let's say I'll call it as an 101 as an index. Rest of the things I'll keep it as is, and then just to identify the difference, I'll call it as an our cloud school. So here in this case we are making an insert, and then also I will make an update. Let's call it as an Delhi, right? So one update, one insert together. Let's save this. We'll run the pipeline again. So the pipeline is successfully completed. Let's verify the records. I'll run the query again. And this time it says that in total 101 rows affected, which means that now we have one more rows. So earlier it was 100 rows, but now we have 101 row. Now if we verify this update, which is what we have updated, right? And then there is a new record which should have been inserted, which is this one, 101 with an index, right? So the index number is 101, the value is this, our cloud school, right? And rest of the things are same, right? So just to summarize, we have seen how to use Azure Data Factory, how to use upsert setting in the data set with Azure Data Factory to insert as well as update a records in the SQL Server table. I hope you have found this useful. If it is, please give it a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching it. See you in the next video.